Hello and welcome to the Villager Nuke Showcase. Now you might be wondering why it's not a tutorial. That's because this contraption involves some 288 or 287 command blocks. Safe to say it's a bit complicated, and I don't think I could convey the instructions well enough in a video. So it's just a showcase for today. So to get started, if you're familiar with any of the other contraptions I made, it uses the same three base commands, which just give villagers a flame trail, a smoke trail, and make them shoot towards the ground like a missile. And over here, just like the villager missile tutorial, the first thing is a system that basically calls in a nuke whenever I place a specific mob down. For, in this case, a Ravager called Smoke. Once I place this down, once I spawn it in, a nuke will be called in at the position of this mob. So how this works, there's a few things. So, this is what actually detects when I place down the mob. It's just an invisibility command that makes the Ravager invisible. Once the comparator is activated, it activates all these different commands. One of them spawns a redstone block over here, which just makes that repeating explosion particle effect at the Ravager. Another one summons the villager in 50 blocks above the Ravager, and then these command blocks set the score for 1 and 2. There's a total of 3 scores for the score per player, which is mushroom, and each score does a different thing. So once the score gets set to 1, these command blocks activate, and these are what actually spawn in the ender crystals, which explode and make the giant crater. So if you think of the giant crater, you split it into 4 separate portions, or 4 different quadrants. That is how I've organized this. So basically, all I have here is basically a triangle, and in that triangle a bunch of ender crystals spawn and explode, and then I sort of reflect that over the X and Y axis to, explode the other 4 portions of the crater. So that's essentially how this works. It's not one giant circle, that whole thing can be divided into 4 different quadrants and also an X and Y axis in which the ender crystals spawn and explode. So you can see, here's the 4 quadrants, and that is what controls the X and Y axis, what spawns in all of the ender crystals relative to the Ravager's position that explode. And of course, it's not just one ender crystal, mind you, it's several. This command block summons an ender crystal at every single ender crystal. So that's a lot of ender crystals. And then also here we have a couple sound effects. This is the villager one that plays throughout, although it's a bit laggy so you can't hear it very well. The beacon one is somewhere, I'm not sure where. But anyways, that's score 1. Score 2 is what creates the particle effects, all of the smoke, the mushroom cloud per se. So once the score reaches 2, then all of these command blocks activate. See, this one is the central cloud, which is basically the middle of the mushroom cloud. This one is the smoke pillar, or the stem of the mushroom cloud. And then over here, all of these command blocks are the east and west side of the mushroom cloud. There was originally also a north and south side, but the amount of campfire particles caused so much lag that I had to remove them. So it's pretty much a 2D texture at that point. So if you're facing this from the east or west and you look at the mushroom cloud, you'd see the pillar, but then the sort of top of it would be a 2D texture almost. But since we face it from the north, or we're facing north here, it looks like a full-blown mushroom cloud. And then what also spawns when the score is 2 is a bunch of other Ravagers, and these is what make up the shockwave, which is the basically 4 moving clouds that move in a square. Basically, a Ravager spawns in each cardinal direction and all the ones in between, so like northeast, northwest, etc. And they start moving outwards. And basically what they do is they're invisible and they're a smoke cloud, and if you get too near them, then you get radiation, or in this case, poison. But once the score hits 3, everything gets turned off. The mushroom cloud sort of dissipates, the Ravagers get killed, and it's basically reset, and you're ready to summon in another nuke. Now, I know you probably saw it in the intro, but let's just summon in another one real quick. let's just spawn a nuke in and just demonstrate to you everything that happens. Whoops, didn't mean to toggle perspectives. Now, the villager comes down, and then the explosion starts happening, and a bunch of end crystals will soon be spawned in. There you go. There's also TNT minecarts thrown in there to activate. And then at any moment we should see the cloud spawn in. There you go. This is the shockwave. Remember, they're invisible ravagers. And we also have the nice mushroom cloud effect. Although if you go to the side, once again, it's sort of a 2D texture. And eventually, once the score hits 3, which it does take a while, so we can speed it up if we want by setting the score to 3 manually, but we won't. All this will go away. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Oh, I got too close to the shockwave there. But if you enjoyed, please leave a like, maybe even subscribe. If you came from Reddit, be sure to upvote. And I'll catch you in whatever I post next.